So for the chocolate mousse, I'm going to melt some chocolate, but I'm not going to add butter to it. This is just going to be some plain chocolate. This is some nice bittersweet chocolate, about 60%. And that's just going to casually melt while I make a meringue and while I whip some cream. All right, so to whip cream, we're going to do the same process we did as whipping up the egg whites. In a clean bowl, a big bowl. You're just going to, again, let your wrist do all the work there. I'll move this out of the way so you can see more of it. If you have beaters, egg beaters, or, hold on, that's our souffle. Let's see how our souffle is doing. I could use another 2 minutes. All right. And again, if you're starting to sweat, you're putting way too much effort into this. All the chocolate mousse is going to be a meringue, which is the whipped egg whites that I showed before the souffle. It's folded in with some heavy cream that's been whipped and some chocolate that's been melted. See how it's starting to set up there. Once it reaches this point where it's kind of gloops back in on itself, that's some nicely whipped cream. And you know what? I'm going to save a little of this so that we can put it on top of our mousse once our mousse settles. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to take my chocolate. The chocolate's nice and melted. I'm going to add to it a little bit of the meringue. Fold that in. Let's get this into the view here. Fold it in. You want to cut through the middle, swirl around the sides, cut through the middle, swirl around the sides, so that we end up with no little white spots. And then we'll add in a little bit of our cream. This is a nice bittersweet chocolate, and the idea is you want to be really gentle so that you don't squeeze out all of those one more minute. So don't squeeze out all of those nice little air bubbles that we just made. I'll put in a little bit more of the meringue. Fold and fold. This is hard to do pointed towards the camera, but it's all right. Cut through the middle, fold it in, swirl it up a little bit, and the rest of the cream. Now, while I was making this and thinking about plotting out the video, I realized I don't have any of my nice looking pastry tips or pastry bags, so I'm just going to have to drop this into a glass, which is okay, because that's probably what you're going to end up doing anyways. There we go. Nice chocolate mousse. Get rid of that white on the sides. Rock and roll. I'm going to pull out a nice little glass here. Let's do... There we go. I see one of that. So this is perfect timing. We got a beautiful, nice cooked souffle. Let's get a better angle on that. Look at that. Puffed up nice and fluffy in the center, kind of like a browning on the outside. That's going to be delicious. Set this over to cool. Kind of need to eat that right away. But for my mousse, what I'm going to do, so I'll take a nice little glass. I'll drop I'll clean up the outside. Since I don't have my pastry bag with my pastry tips, I've got to do this old school with just a spoon, which again is okay. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And then I will take a napkin, clean the side. Clean this little dollop here. And I'll take another spoon, put in my whipped cream that I saved right on top. Yeah, it fell to the side. I'm going to let this sit in the fridge to kind of cool off for an hour or two, in which case it'll solidify like a pumpkin, like a pudding. And I will put my souffle on a plate. And it looks just beautiful. Get into it. It's nice and moist, nice and fluffy, nice and steamy. That looks delicious. There we go. So that is a chocolate mousse and a chocolate souffle. Very similar techniques, but one has a little butter and egg yolks and is cooked, and the other one is just chilled in the fridge.